Hello YouTube, Sethonon here. This is the Daily Grind and this is DC Unchained. We have, at the end of January, just starting today, for me it's Thursday when I'm recording this video and I will upload it later on the day. But it is Chinese New Year, and as you might recall, DC Unchained is developed by a Chinese company. So they have a New Year promotion for the events this week, and we have another week-long event for February, and both are really cool because if you finish the New Year event, it will run for 7 days, but you only have to finish it 5 times, and the reward is 200 and medal shards, and from the look of it, it's a selector for 200 of any guy you want. Now, if you don't have yet a skin, you're a new player and you haven't yet unlocked any skin, in a week you will be able to unlock any skin you want. And if you already have a skin but you haven't been able to rank that up because you're missing the end medal shards, and even though it's fairly fast when you're starting to rank from D to C up to B, this will be a nice upgrade for you. And the other one, and they're cool. For example, this one, Michael Mineral, you can exchange that for Element X. You're going to get at least 1400 if you do this every day. 1400, that's 4 Element X for free. And you're going to get 350 gems, and there is also another daily for playing Unchained. That's another 350, so that's a total of 1750 mineral to get. That's exchange of 300 for 1 mineral X. That's 15. 5 Element X if you do this all week. And the February event also gives Magical Mineral. That's another 350. So that's at least another Element X. So 6 Element X in just a week. That's pretty cool. And both events give you a random shard box for 10 end medal shards and gems, and the price for this one, if you finish these 5 times, it's 1000 gems. So you're going to end up, after you finish this event, with 1700 gems for free, just from playing. It's really easy to do this every day. Complete the daily boss 2 times. The special mission, that's somewhat random, but you can get that every day, only 1 time. Play rank war 2 times. Oh, who's calling? God damn it. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that in the video. Yeah, what the fuck? So you can see I'm actually playing from my phone. I don't record this on fancy PC and whatnot. What you see is what you get, and I had to reinstall because my SD card crapped out yesterday. So, well, this is a quick video. I'm gonna start doing my dailies to get these things for the events. This is why I told you before in some other videos, even if it hasn't been officially released in the United States or Europe, you don't suffer from the language barrier because it has translations. I live in Mexico, I'm Mexican, and I play in English just because the grammar is clearer in English. In Spanish it's somewhat dubious, some of the names are very confusing, very long, and even the English translation has a couple of issues, especially for the Vision Quest, but it's playable. It's very playable, and it's generous for the free players. This is not a game where you pay to have an advantage over someone else. The game is very grindy though. I like grindy games. I feel um, that well, I when I started playing, I was hooked on old school MMOs like EverQuest, Lineage 2, and some other of the Chinese grinders like this one is Korean Ragnarok Online, and what was the other one? Oh god, it's been so many years. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm not scared of grinding. Grinding doesn't scare me. So for me, even though this is a grindy game, it's I feel fair and just in what you get from the time you invest. I play mostly half an hour, 40 minutes a day, and that's divided between the early morning before I go to work and at night after I have my dinner and whatnot. I play this game. I play for a very short time. Really, it's only when you are actually grinding for gold, or you have to get the XP books, or you're trying to fish for some extra silver cards that you have to play for around an hour and a half. You don't even have to do that in one sitting. So this is perfect for me. This is why I recommend this game. It's not fulfilling. It doesn't have a lot of character releases every month, but they have been doing a decent job of releasing skins that actually improve the gameplay for some of the characters. And I'm very curious about what the future will hold for DC Unchained. And I like the fact that you just can't come play this and sink down a couple $1,000 and you're going to crush the leaderboard, because this game doesn't work that way. The same as DC Legends, you just can't come in and expect to take over from the guys that have been playing for over a year now. This game is a year officially, a year old, and I think that's amazing. It's pretty cool. Nobody thought that it was going to last this long. It's certainly not competition for Marvel Future Fight or Contest of Champions or even the Strike Force, the Marvel Strike Force. And I don't think it should compete with those. Now, granted, some people don't know or are not aware that the developer for DC Unchained is also working on a Ghostbusters game that is similar to Pokemon Go. And that one was fun, but I had to stop playing because it ate the battery real fast. And where I live, the boss ghosts for that Ghostbuster game are just too damn far, and I don't have a car currently, and the nearest boss is over 10 kilometers away, so that's pretty crappy, really. So I can play that. I just can't play that game. But it's a cool game nevertheless, and it looks like that Ghostbuster game is giving the developer Studio 43.3 or 433. I don't know how to call them. I think it's 433. It's the real money maker for them right now. It's not to say that this is an afterthought, because even though this is not much work setting up a menu and the rewards and whatnot, they are keeping this game alive. I mean, I haven't seen a repeat. I have been playing now for 2 months and a half straight. After I came back after launch, I only played for a month and a half. Then I went away because the game at launch, this game was very, very boring. There was nothing to do except grind the Unchained, and you had to grind that day and night. You had to play for hours to get anything done, and that's been done away completely. You can progress in this game by playing less than a half an hour, and you don't have to do that in one sitting. That's a very plus for me because I can log in, play two quick Unchained rounds, or just advance a mission for the Vision Quest, or some of the simulation combat, or rank war. I can just test how am I doing on rank war, and that's fine. And when I really have time and I really want to sit and play, that's when I do my daily bosses, and that's when I do the Mr. Mixed prank. Mixly Plicklickit, or however you say that in English. Because at least in the cartoons in Mexico, it was Mixplick. So yeah, that's about that. So come play if you haven't tried it. It's slow in the beginning, but it's not very difficult to get into, and you will be making a ton of gems every day when you start out, because you have so many quests to finish. I remember I was around 9 or 10,000 gems before I decided to start spending, because I was accruing gems all the time, and I was thinking, okay, maybe later, maybe when I'm max level and whatnot. And the other cool part about this game is that your characters levels are not tied to your account levels, so you can be. I think you unlock everything that you can play, because you only start with the story mission, and you start unlocking other things, the PvP and the simulation combat and vision quest and the team training. I think it's around level 12 or 13, and that's like a week and a half of playing every day, so it doesn't. Oh, my dispatch is done. And there is this thing, the dispatch. See, these are some characters that I'm power leveling, and I'm gonna send them on the same dispatch again, and they're gonna get another level. And I haven't played Siren. I wanted to build Siren because I'm liking that character very much. So instead of having to grind through Unchained, which is very, very boring, and in that regard, the PvE element of this game, where you begin, is not challenging at all. It's very boring, very grindy in the bad way, and it's very slow to progress. It's gonna eat your stamina potions, and you're better off saving that for the team training. And I'm gonna talk about that in a coming up video. So just use your dispatch. Your dispatch allow you to level up your characters real fast without suffering. And if you buy, you get, when you start out, you get 1 month of the base inventory expansion for free. That allows you to farm the dispatches without even having to log on. You can only log on for once a day, and you get everything. I think I already made a video about that. That's the best way to power level your characters. Just buy the base expansion. It's around $5 or something like that. It's very, very, very cheap. And set up all your dispatches if you want to power level characters to the fastest dispatch that you have unlocked, and just come the next day and cash in 24 times in a row. And that's a wonderful thing if you don't really have time to play, or even if your phone breaks down, or you have no Wi-Fi, or no data plan, for whatever reason. Even though you will miss the daily logins, your base expansion will keep accruing all the covers, all the valoriums, and the stamina potions and the dispatches until you log in again, and it will store all the rewards and give them at once. So that's super amazing for this game. I wish that many other games had that, if they're not going to be very engaging. Now, I keep playing DC Unchained because I'm in love with the live PvP. I like Rank War too, but I'm digging. I just wanted that the times for this live competitive weren't so odd hours for me, because one it's at 4 a.m. in the morning, and the other one there's a second one that I didn't know that there was um, at around 7 p.m. for me, 6 or 7 p.m., and it only lasts 2 hours. But it's a blast. Whenever I can and I have the time, I join the live PvP. I don't even care that I get my ass kicked and that there are cheaters. I find it amazing, and I have seen some very crazy combinations that even look unfair, but they are from guys that have accounts level 60 or something. So I know that they have been grinding their asses to overpower their characters. So there's that for me. There's still a lot of life in this game for me, and I'm really pumped about making content, because very few people are making content for this game on YouTube, because it's not a fast game to progress on. You can come in, decide, oh, I'm gonna do content for this, and I don't think these guys are sponsoring people. I've been thinking of setting up a Patreon, but I don't think I'm ready yet for that. Um, I just want to see what the response is. I have another channel in Spanish with different games. There's very different content, but it really pissed me off that some games have absolutely no coverage in English. And even though many people don't live in the United States, um, like guys from Europe, uh, players could use and can use at least, even if it's not like deep strategies or whatnot, perhaps they wanted to try a game, but they just don't feel like committing to the game and want to see what the end game or what the high levels are doing, to see if it is worth their time. And I feel that the game doesn't have to be tailored to you as a player. But if you find out what the game is really about, what the gameplay is, maybe you can give it a chance and you mold yourself into the game and get into the game. And that's the cool part. That's what has made me a gamer for over 35 years, if you can believe that. There has been many games that I never finished, and I don't feel bad for not finishing them. And there have been many games that I've never been able to get into. I mean, I have tried Fortnite, which is one of the reasons one, and PUBG. I think that one is better on the PC, but I'm a Battlefield guy, anyways. And for example, for me, Grand Theft Auto doesn't do anything. I played the first version on PlayStation 1, the, the Grand Theft Auto 2 on PlayStation 1, and Grand Theft Auto 3 on PlayStation 2, and it just never did anything for me. Um, I know it has a story and whatnot, but I just, it doesn't click with me. And I did finish, I think, Vice Stories from Vice City or something it was called. I didn't play San Andreas. I was completely tired of that series by that point in time. And that's the good part about rentals, when we used to get rental places for games, because I didn't have to buy any of those fucking games. So, anyways, give DC Unchained a try if you are a DC fan. The live PvP is amazing. You have to get used to it. It's even more I mean, if you're playing this on an emulator, it's gonna be hell playing with a mouse and having to use uh, key binds and whatnot. And I think this one is compatible with joypads, controllers like the Xbox controller and DualShock 4. in some sort. I don't know, I haven't tried. I just feel personally that if you're going to review a mobile game that is available on smartphones or tablets, that you should play that on the console that it was designed for. Like this one is on smartphones. I play it on the smartphone. I record on the smartphone. If this was a PC game, I would be recording on the PC, and or if it was a console game, I would be recording through something to get the footage on the PC. But I think we finally have reached the point where portable games. I don't like the business model, but I think we are at the point where we are able to get quality games with good graphics, good sound, and good design on smartphones that are not just clickers. So that's it. If you're playing this or you are going to try to play this on a PC, try at least to get a joypad, because if not, if you're going to try to play PvP on Odo, the live PvP, it's gonna be a nightmare for you, because it doesn't look like it, but it actually has some strategy behind the building of your team and how you play with different characters. And characters, when you control them on PvP, unlike on Rank War, when you control the characters on PvP and you can actually set up traps and evade and counter strike and stuff like that, this game is amazing. And it has a lot of room for improvement, and it needs some rebalancing in some of the stuff, but it is amazing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. With that said, I thank you all for your time, for coming and visit my channel. I try to make engaging content. Right now it has been mostly ranting for this video and staring at the screens. Oh, I have a prize. But I will upload gameplay for this game, because this game is amazing. So with that said, I thank you all for your time. Subscribe if you feel like it, leave a comment, set up a like to the channel, and subscribe if you want to know when I upload new content. So we'll see each other next time, and in the meantime, keep grinding on. This was the Daily Grind.